Okay, so kule video sizobheka ama-corrections we-class test esibhale on the 9th of April, right? So it's based on geometry. So I had hope ukuthi sizoyiphasa maybe most of us, but then mase ngimakha ngiyabona ukuthi no, abaningi benu still have a lot to revise. Yeah, ama-basics asalekha still, so ngiyana-advise ukuthi i-geometry ningayekeleli. While you're doing other chapters, go back to geometry until uze like uyi-master, right? So okay, so sizodiscuss ama-corrections. We'll start with question 7, but in the diagram below, AC is a diameter of the circle with center O. AC and chord BD intersected E. As we can see, AC and BD intersected E, right? Then but AB, BC and AD are also chords of the circle. OD is joined. AE is perpendicular to BD, right? So and then but C is 33 degrees, and then they want us to calculate A1 with reasons, right? So looking at A1, we can see ukuthi A1 is that angle there. So A1 is that angle there, and if you check A1 and B1, you'll see ukuthi those should be equal because they are angles in the same segment, right? And then if you look at triangle BEC, you'll see ukuthi E3 is equals to 90 because we were told ukuthi AE is perpendicular to BD, right? So answering 7.1, I would start by writing E3 is equals to 90 degrees. This is given. We are given that AE is perpendicular to BD. Okay, and then now I have 90 degrees here. I can calculate B1 by saying in triangle BEC, the sum of angles in this will be 180, right? So in triangle, okay, let me just say E3 plus B1 plus C should be equals to 180 degrees. The reason is angle sum in triangle BEC, in triangle BEC. Okay, and then E3 is 90, B1 is what we want to calculate, C is 33 degrees, that's equals to 180, right? So B1 will be equals to 180 minus 90 minus 33, right? So 180, okay, nangipressa ku calculator straight away ngithola ukuthi B1 is 57 degrees, right? So here we have 57 degrees, right? And then I said A1 and B1 are equal because those are angles in the same segment. So I'll say A1 is equals to B1 is equals to 57 degrees, right? Angles in the same segment, right? So anything you need as mistakes from you guys is ukuthi if you look at angle B, kunama angle ayi2 lapha. This is angle B, and then that's angle B1, and that's angle B2, right? So if you say A1 is equals to B1 is equals to angle B, mina would assume what you are saying A1 is equals to B1 plus B2, right? Because that's angle B, right? So we specify precisely ukuthi ku angle B, which angle are you referring to? Is it B1, is it B2, or is it the whole angle B, right? So if you want to say B1, let it be B1, right? Or rather say DBC, angle DBC, if I want to B1, right? because if we say A1 is equals to B is equals to 57 degrees, this will be wrong. Okay, but then A1 is equals to B1, as we can see there. Those are angles in the same segment. So lawo ngamanye ama-mistake engwabona niwenza, ne? So siwa correct. Okay, so 7.2 they want us to calculate D2. There's D2 lapha, right? And then the approach that I will use is okay, let's see. I have A1, and then I can have B D1 as well, right? So if you look at angle D1 and C, those are angles in the same segment also, right? Angle D1 and C are angles in the same segment. So ngizoti D1 is equals to angle C is equals to 33 degrees, raising angles in the same segment, right? And then notice ukuthi OD and OA are equal because my radius, right? So therefore angle A1 should be equals to angle D1 plus D2, right? Or ungati angle ODA is equals to angle A1, reason angles opposite equal sides. So mina ngizoti D1 plus D2 is equals to angle A1, right? Reason angles opposite equal side, or angles opposite radii, right? And then with D1 I have D1 is 33, D2 is what I want to calculate, A1 is 57 from the previous question, right? So D2 will be equals to 57. It will be equals to 57 minus 33, right? 57 minus 33 is 24. So I'll have D2 as 24 degrees, right? So we have D2. Now we need to show that this line AE bisects. Okay, let me bring in a fresh picture. Now I want to show what AE bisects the angle DAB, right? So the way to show that, if you can show that angle A1 and A2 are equal, then uzabe so provile ukuthi AE bisects DEB, right? So one way of doing this is to prove that the triangle ADE and triangle AEB are congruent, right? So meaning all the corresponding angles will be equal and all the corresponding sides will be equal, right? So but then for me indlela elula is to show ukuthi A1 and A2 are equal. How do I show that A1 and A2 are equal? I already have A1 as 57 degrees. Now I need to show what A2 is 57 degrees as well, right? So in triangle ABC, I have AC as the diameter. Therefore, this angle B will be 90 degrees. My reason will be angle in a semicircle, right? So 7.3, I'll say the angle ABC, which is this angle B1 plus B2, is equals to 90 degrees. Reason angle in a semicircle, right? And then in triangle ABC, I will have A2 to be equals to 180 degrees minus angle B, which is 90, minus angle C, which is 33. Ne? And then my reason will be angle sum in triangle ABC. Okay, so 180 minus 90 minus 33 will be 57 degrees. So therefore A1 is equals to A2. This shows ukuthi AE bisects the angle it bisects the angle DAB, right? DAB. An easy 8 marks there. Angazi ukuthi abaningi benu benigcakwe yini since siyenzile like practice ama questions afana nale like over and over. So give me kube clear ukuthi most of you don't know how to apply lama theorems. Ne? So kube clear. Right, so we're done with question 7. So manje sizoya ku question 8. Okay. So going on to question 8, 8.1. So 8.1 bafuna to prove the Tancourt theorem, right? So if we prove a Tancourt theorem, you cannot have Tancourt theorem as one of your reasons ma prove lab, right? If wenza njalo, you will lose marks. Ne? Another thing you mentioned before, Guti, if you don't have a construction and then by construction somewhere in your proof, or if you don't have a construction at all, then you will lose the entire 5 marks. Ne? So yeah, right? So me now will construct a diameter from T to say, okay, let me construct. I'll construct the diameter from T to some point, say P, ne? And then construct a chord JP, right? And then label this J1 and label this J2, right? And then I have T1 here, I'll label that T2, right? So mangicala ngizothi construct TP and join JP, right? And then after ngizoti T1 plus T2, angle T1 plus T2 is equals to 90 degrees, reason tangent perpendicular to radius or diameter, right? Tangent perpendicular to diameter, right? And then I have this as 90 degrees. Ne? I also have Uguti J1, angle J1 plus J2 is equals to 90 degrees. Reason angle in a semicircle. Angle in a semicircle. And then I have Uguti T2 and J2 are equal. My reason will be angles in the same segment. So T2 and J2 are equal, right? Reason angles in the same segment. Okay, so now because J2 and T2 are equal, it implies that T1 should be equals to J1, right? And then J1 is that angle TJK, right? So sesicedile prove that T1, therefore from locus esikubhalile it follows ukuthi T1 and J1 are equal, right? If you look at these equations here, right? So therefore T1 is equals to TJK, right? Because J1 is equals to TJK, right? I hope you can see. Right, so this is one way of proving this theorem, né? And then there's also another way of proving this theorem by using a theorem lay angles in there. Angle at center is equals to 2 times angle at circumference. So I can quickly show you, which means we will need to construct gabusha lapa. Okay. So that was one way of doing it, by constructing a diameter. And then another way of doing it is to construct a triangle like this. Construct, so ngizoti construct TONOK, right? So ngizoti construct TO and OK, right? Bese ngithi let angle T JK be X, right? So let that angle there be X, ne? Let that angle there be X. So it follows ukuthi angle TOK is equals to 2x. Reason, angle at center is equals to 2 times angle at circumference, right? So now I have 2k there, sorry, 2x, ne? And then I also have ukuthi this will be okay, I also have ukuthi angle OTK is equals to angle OKT, right? Because they are opposite equal sides. So OTK is equals to OKT, right? Angles opposite radius, ne? And then in triangle, okay, now I'll use the sum of angles in a triangle. Look, 12 angle OTK or angle OKT, ne? So OTK, sorry, so ngizoti 2 OTK plus 2x is equals to 180 degrees, right? Because those are sum of angles in a triangle, this one is equals to that one, so that is why I have 2 OTK there, right? So this is angle sum in triangle OTK, so therefore from this OTK will be equals to 90 minus x, right? That will be 90 minus x. Remember, my aim is to prove that T1 is equals to angle J there, so I need to prove what T1 is equals to x. That is my goal, right? So now I have this angle here as 90 minus x. Khumbula ukuthi I have OT to be perpendicular to JH, right? So OT, okay, let's do this. OTH is also 90 degrees. Why? That's tangent perpendicular to radius, right? So if OTH is equals to 90, it means that T1 is equals to 90 minus OTK, right? So T1 will be OTH, which is 90, minus OTK, which is 90 minus x. So here I'll have 90 plus x, right? So it's minus 90 minus x, minus x, which is why you know plus x, right? So T1 is equals to x, right? Now I have showed what T1 is equals to angle J. They are both equals to x. Therefore T1 is equals to T J K. Sengicedile proof. Zotholele 5 marks here. Right? So that's how you prove. Okay, now we're done with 8.1. So now sizoya ku 8.2. So 8.2 so 8.2.1 was like 3 marks also, ne? Ngazuthiwa abanye beni bangakayitholi. Was lokhu sikwenzile like multiple times, right? So masiya lapha ku 8.2.1 but write other angles which are equal to x, right? 3 other angles equal to x, right? So E is that angle which is equals to x. We are given what BD and AO are parallel, and we have CA as our tangent, and we have O as our center. Therefore DE is our diameter, right? So I can see, looking at the diagram, what B4 and E are equal. Reason being Tancourt theorem. Okay, so ngizoti B4 is equals to E is equals to X. Reason Tancourt theorem. Right? And then now I can see what B4 and A are equal because BD and AO are parallel. Those are corresponding angles. So I'll have A to be equals to B4 equals to X, right? Corresponding angles are equal. BD is parallel to AO. Okay, right? So now I have 2 angles which are equals to X, right? I can also see what B2 and E are equal because they are opposite equal sides. They are opposite radius, right? So ngizoti B2 is equals to E is equals to X, right? Angles opposite radius. And then I have 3 angles which are equals to X, and then it's totally 4 marks. Okay. Okay, so now going on to 8.2.2. 8.2.2. So 8.2.2, but it determined with reasons CBE in terms of X. So CBE is angle B2 plus B3 plus B4, right, in terms of X. I already have B4 and B2. If I have B3, I can be able to determine CBE, right? So Siteu O is the center, therefore DE is our diameter, which means angle B2 plus B3 is 90. Why? Angles in a semicircle. So yeah, so ngizoti DBE is 90. DBE is 90. Reason angle in a semicircle, right? And then if I have DBC as 90, it means CBE will be 90 plus B4, which is X. So CBE will be equals to 90 plus X. And easy 3 marks there. Okay. And then Seagu 8.2.3. abaningi benu it seems like inhlulile lena. Eight point two point three but prove ukuthi F is the midpoint of BE. So to prove that F is the midpoint of BE, we just need to find a way of showing ukuthi BF and FE are equal, right? So one way of doing this is to prove ukuthi those two triangles are congruent, and naso wenze njalo zabe so provile ukuthi yeah, indeed those two angles are those two uzobe so provile with F is the midpoint, right? But then I'll use a theorem, let's say a line drawn from the center perpendicular to a chord bisects the chord. In other words, if I can show ukuthi F1, if I can show ukuthi F1 is 90 degrees or OFE is 90 degrees, therefore it will mean ukuthi BE and FE are equal, which will imply ukuthi F is the midpoint of BE, right? So yeah, uzowenza njalo. So notice ukuthi we have BD and AO parallel lines. We have those two parallel lines, and then sesishilo ukuthi DBE is 90 degrees because it's an angle in a semicircle, right? Because these two lines are parallel, it also means ukuthi OFE is 90 degrees, right? Those are corresponding angles. So ngizoti OFE is equals to DBE is equals to 90 degrees, right? Those are corresponding angles. Those are corresponding angles and they are equal. BD is parallel to AO. Now, because this angle here is 90 degrees, it means BE is perpendicular to OF, right? Now, because BE is perpendicular to OF, it means BE and FE are equal, right? Therefore, BF and FE. BF is equals to FE, right? Reason being, a line perpendicular from the center bisects the chord. The theorem lay converse. The theorem converse of line perpendicular to a center bisecting the chord, right? So a converse yakona, and then uzotholela 4 marks yakho, right? Or if you can prove that those two triangles are congruent, then uzotholela 4 marks. Okay, and then siyaku 8.2.4. 8.2.4, you were required to prove ukuthi triangle 8.2.4, you are required to prove which triangle CBD is similar to triangle CEB, right? So naba state similarity le order le ba liste ngayo lama letter lawa i-account ne i-order le if uthi triangle CBD is similar to triangle BEC, angeke kusaba correct, because the order le ba liste ngayo these letters, it also says ukuthi which sides are in the same proportion. So looking at this I can tell ukuthi the sides that are in proportion is CB and CE, BD and EB, versus CD and AE. So looking at this, I can be able to say CB, which is this, over CE, which is this, is equals to BD over EB. Sorry, BD over EB. right? I hope I'm making sense. Abanye even besengibakhombisile this trick already. If you are given ukuthi two triangles are similar like this, if bathi CBD is similar to triangle CEB, then it shows ukuthi the corresponding sides from these two triangles, it's CB and CE, right? Kubuye kube ngu BD no EB, right? Kubuye kube ngu CD no CB, like this. I hope it makes sense. Now, to prove that those two triangles are similar, we just need to show ukuthi all the corresponding angles are equal, and then so looking at those two triangles, it's CBD and CBD and CBE, right? So looking at the diagram, I can see what C is common and B4 is equals to E is equals to X, right? It will therefore follow what D, this was proven, or Untitled Theorem, right? It also follows what D2 is equals to CBE, right? That angle of triangle. And then usitholele 2 marks yakho. Okay? And then 8.2.5 vathini, they want us to prove ukuthi 2EF times CB is equals to CE times BD. So the trick ngalama question lawa is to use what you already know, ne? So ku 8.2.4 says prove ukuthi those two triangles are similar, right? So 8.2.5, so 8.2.5 ufuna prove ukuthi this is true, right? From 8.2.4 we know ukuthi triangle CBD is similar to triangle CEB, right? This was proven from 8.2.4, right? It therefore implies ukuthi CB over CE is equals to BD over EB, ne? CB over CE is equals to BD over EB, right? Which is equals to, yeah, I'll stop there, I think. So I have CB over CE is equals to BD over EB, yeah? Right? And then I'll cross multiply and say EB. Why do I write this? We have similar triangles, right? The corresponding sides are in the same proportion. So now if I cross multiply, I'll have EB times CB is equals to CE times BD, right? But remember what is T? F is the midpoint of BE, which implies that EB F is the midpoint of EB, right? which implies that EB is equals to 2FE, right? Ungati FE plus FE, because of BF no FE they are equal, so EB will be equals to 2FE, right? So EB is equals to 2FE, right? Since F is the midpoint of that line. Okay, so now substituting 2FE last bona kono EB from our previous equation, we'll have 2FE times CB is equals to CE times BD. Now we prove, and then we are done. Okay, so now we'll go to question 9. Okay, so question 9 abaningi benu vele unihlulile. I mean, most of you nizama uku-apply Theorem of Pythagoras, and angazi ukuthi why we apply Theorem of Pythagoras if you don't have a right-angled triangle, right? So a Theorem of Pythagoras, it only applies if une right-angled triangle, ne? If you don't have a right-angled triangle, you cannot apply Theorem of Pythagoras. I hope we're clear. So if we don't see a triangle in 90 degrees like this, then don't use the Theorem of Pythagoras. I hope we get it, right? Like in this scenario here, azange bakutshele ukuthi une angle which is equals to 90 degrees. Also azange bakutshele ukuthi you have perpendicular lines. So you cannot assume ukuthi the Theorem of Pythagoras applies here because you don't have a right-angled triangle. Okay? So a way of solving this is to apply similarity and uthole ama sides which are in the same proportion, right? And then you'll be able to solve this question, right? Okunye engifuna ukupointa out ukuthi if you are given a ratio like this, but AE to EC is equals to 4:7, it does not imply ukuthi AE is equals to 4 centimeters and EC is equals to 7 centimeters. Ngithe i-ratio, it's only ratio, ayisho ukuthi it's the length of those sides. So lana bathi this side to that side is equals to 4:7, which means if you know the length of one side, you can be able to calculate the length of the other side because you know the ratio, right? So a ratio does not imply length. I hope we get zogala. So yeah, a ratio does not imply length. Okay, I hope we're clear. So now, but if DE is equals to X, so we are in the diagram below, A, B, C, and D are points on the circumference of the circle, but BD and AC intersect at E, as we can see. But EB is equals to 8 centimeters, DC is equals to 8 centimeters as well, and AE to EC is equals to 4:7. If DE is equals to X units and AB is equals to Y units, then calculate X and Y. Okay, so AE to EC is equals to 4:7 is the same as saying AE over EC is equals to 4/7, right? This side to that side is equals to 4/7. So AE is equals to 4 times some factor because I see length, ne? So if you say that factor is P, for example, or that factor is K, so AE will be 4K units. And then EC will be 7K units, right? le ungasho ukuthi length u4 is not the length of AE. 4k can be the length of AE. So if you know that factor k, you'll be able to calculate the length yaga AE precisely. But then here you are only given a ratio. It's not length. Ne? I hope it makes sense. So to eliminate a little confusion, I'll just use a factor k to denote ukuthi AE is not equals to 4 units, but it's equals to 4 times some factor k, right? And then izonginikela length. So AE is equals to 4k units. I hope he is wakala, right? So AE is equals to 4k units, EC is equals to 7k units, where k is some factor, right? Okay, I'll think it by AE is equals to 4k centimeters, right? Bese ngithi EC, right? So ngizothi let AE be equals to 4k centimeters and EC be equals to 7k centimeters, where k is some factor, right? So kuma example ebengiwenza eclassini, right, bengiazuma ukuthi this factor is 1, which is why bengibhala 4 7 instead of ngithi 4k and 7k. Bengiazuma ifactor yaka 1. So but then ngiyabona ukuthi ngathi abaningi beniyan confuse. So let us stick to factors, ne? Let's say AE is 4k centimeters and EC is 7k centimeters, ne? Right. So in order to proceed, we need to show ukuthi these two triangles are similar. Triangle DEC and triangle ABE are similar. We need to prove that. So ngizoti A is equals to D. Why? Those are angles in the same segment. Those two. Right? Those are angles in same segment. And then ngibuye ngithi B and C are equal. B and C are equal. Those are angles in same segment. Ngibuye ngithi E and ngibuye ngithi AEB is equals to DEB. So is equals to DEC, sorry. Why? Those are vertically opposite angles, right? Those are vertically opposite angles. They are equal. Okay, so ngizoti angle AEB is equals to angle DEC, right? Vertically opposite angles are equal. So now all the corresponding angles of those two triangles are equal. Therefore those two triangles are similar, ne? So ngizoconclude ngithi therefore triangle. Remember, in order when you state similarity is important. You cannot just say EAEB is similar to CED, right? So I have not checked it. It can be ukuthi this is true, but then you have to check ukuthi this order makes sense. Is it okay to say AED is similar to CED now? You can find that ukuthi AED is similar to DEC, not the other way around, right? So to avoid that mistake, it's best ukuthi wenze draw maybe picture lama triangle lawa 2 separately, right? So ngiyazi ukuthi from this triangle I can call this angle A, and then from the other triangle, because they are similar, maybe one is bigger than the other, we don't know. Then from the other triangle I know ukuthi A and D are the equal angles, right? And then ngiyazi ukuthi B and C are also the equal angles. So I'll say this is B and I'll say this is C, right? And then ngiyazi ukuthi E and E are the equal angles, are the equal angles also. So I'll have E there and I'll have E here, right? So now from this I can see with, okay, the sides that are in the same proportion, it's AB over DE, AE over DE, sorry, it's AB over DC, AE over DE, BE over CE. So I can say, therefore, triangle ABE is similar to triangle DCE. Right? Reason, angle, angle, angle. If you can prove this, it, you can get 6 marks straight away without finding the values of x and y, right? But then because we know length, Lama sides, we can go ahead and solve for x and y. So from this we can see what AB is y and BE is 8 units, it's 8 centimeters, and AE is 4K centimeters. Is 4K centimeters. Okay, and then Siabuya in triangle DC is 8 centimeters, CE is 7K centimeters, DE is X, right? Now we want to find the values of X and Y. So if I say, because these two triangles are similar, I can say AB over DC is equals to BE over, the sides that are in proportion, it's AB, so it's AB over DC, BE over CE, right? BE over CE, or from this it's AB over DC, BE over CE, or root AE over DE. So I hope you can see what I'm trying to show you, right? Because the order is very important when you are stating a similarity like this, right? So I'll say I write this because I have similar triangles. So AB from this is y. From here we see with AB is y. With DC is 8 units or 8 centimeters. With BE is 8. With CE is 4K. So y will be equals to 8 times 8. When you cross multiply, 8 times 8 will be 64 over 4K, right? So 64 over 4 is the same as 16, right? 64 over 4 is just, sorry, here I was supposed to write 7K. CE is 7K, not 4K. Ne? CE is 7K. So here I'll say I'll have 64 over 7K. This will be y, right? Now I want x. So if I want x, I see what x would DE. So what DE over the corresponding side is AE. DC over AE is equals to DC over, okay, I'll use the other side. The other side will be CE over BE. CE over BE, right? I write this because I have similar triangles, right? So DE is X, which I want to calculate. AE is 4K and CE is 7K, and then BE is 8 centimeters. So this implies that x is equals to 4 times 7 is 28, k times k is k squared, so I have 28k squared over 8, right? Those are the values of x and y. So if you assume ukuthi this factor k is equals to 1, then you will have y to be 64 over 7 and x to be 28 over 8 if k is 1, right? So because this is a ratio, it's not implying length, so actually length, it's a ratio. Yeah, so this is how you solve question 9, and then we can proceed to question 10. We can proceed to question 10. So again, question 10 was fairly simple. Angazuthi ngiconfuse yini. So Sotomo 10.1. Okay, we can write 10.1 there. So but he proved that MDC is a cyclic quad, right? So if Bati prove what this is a cyclic quad, you cannot use cyclic quad as one of your reasons. Lapa. Now prove. You cannot say maybe D plus E is equals to 180 besuti because it's opposite angles of a cyclic quad. You are required to prove that this is a cyclic quad. Therefore, you cannot use one of the properties of a cyclic quad. Right? So when you are proving something, assume that you don't know what it's a cyclic quad, but then you want to show what it's a cyclic quad. So if you can show what D plus E is equals to 180, therefore you can conclude that this is a cyclic quad because it has some of the properties of a cyclic quad. Ne? So yeah, I hope that makes sense, right? Again, you cannot have cyclic quad in your reasons there because you want to prove what it's a cyclic quad. Ne? Suppose you don't know what it's a cyclic quad. Therefore, you need to show what it's a cyclic quad, right? So here I can say M is the center, FEC is a tangent, D is the midpoint. Because D is a midpoint of AB, we know immediately that this angle is 90 degrees, right? It's a converse of that theorem. It says an angle from the center perpendicular to a chord bisects a chord. So M D B is equals to 90 degrees, right? Reason, it's a converse of the theorem. It says a line perpendicular, a perpendicular line from center, a perpendicular line from the center bisects a chord, right? Okay, so this is 90 degrees because it's a converse of that theorem. It says a line drawn from the center perpendicular to the chord bisects the chord. We are already told that this line bisects the chord. Therefore, we know that angle is 90 degrees. Okay, right. So another thing which I see here is this is 90 degrees, right? Because that is a radius, that is a tangent. A tangent is perpendicular to a radius. So I will say MEF is equals to 90 degrees. Reason, tangent perpendicular to radius. Right, so because the exterior angle of this quadrilateral is equal to the opposite interior angle, I can say, okay, this is a cyclic quad. So the exterior angle of this quad is equal to the opposite interior angle of the same quad, right? Therefore, this quad is a cyclic quad. Therefore this quad is a cyclic quad, right? And then I get my 3 marks. Okay, and then say I go 10.2, 10.2. So 10.2, but he proved that MC squared is equals to MP squared plus DC squared minus DP. I was waiting to say, when you saw this question, because here you just apply theorem of Pythagoras. Notice within now we can apply theorem of Pythagoras because we have a right angled triangle here, we have it there, and yeah, here you can apply theorem of Pythagoras. Yeah? So now I will apply theorem of Pythagoras in 2 places. I will apply it to triangle MDC and to triangle MDB, right? Because those 2 triangles are right angled triangles, right? So in triangle MDB, MP squared is equals to MD squared plus DB squared. Reason, it's Pythagoras. Okay, so MP squared is equals to MD squared plus DB squared. Okay, and then in triangle okay, so from this I can see what DB, I can see what MD, sorry, not DB, MD squared is equals to MP squared minus DB squared, right? Because we will use it somewhere. So combisa in a few. So in triangle MDC, that MDC is that bigger triangle, MC squared is equals to MD squared plus DC squared. Same reason, it's a Pythagoras theorem, right? Okay, so MD is equals to MP squared minus DP squared. So in this equation I can substitute this guy, right? So I can plug in this guy here, right, and have MC squared equals to MP. In place of MD, I will put MP squared minus DP squared. So minus DP squared plus DC, right? So now rearranging, I'll have MP squared plus DC squared minus DP squared, which is what I wanted to prove. So yeah, simple as that. Okay, now going on to 10.3. 10.3. So 10.3, but to calculate CE. Who CE now? This is C. Who CE is this part. Ne? and then we are given ukuthi ME is 40, ME nang, right? Because you are given ME, you are also given MB, because those two are radius. Ne? ME and MB are equal, so MB is also 40, right? And then we are given ukuthi BC is 20, so this part here is 20. We are given ukuthi AB is 60. This whole length is 60. If that whole length is 60, then this part here is 30, right? So to calculate CE, we will use the theorem of Pythagoras again. So we will have to calculate MC, and then after calculating MC, we will be able to calculate EC. ME is equals to 40, BC is 20, and AB is 30, right? So I will use what we have proved from 10.2. So 10.3 will apply this equation here. MC squared is equals to MB squared plus DC squared minus DB squared, right? My reason is that this was proven. Ne? Now MC squared is equals to MP squared. What is MP? MP is 40 because it's a tangent perpendicular to radius. So excuse me, so to make things easy, let me just write this here. MP is equals to 40 millimeters, right? Okay, let's write like this. So MP is equals to ME, they are both equals to 40 millimeters. My radius, right? And then DB is equals to 30 because we were given AD is equals to DB, right? And then BC is 20, ME is 40, and then we can go ahead and substitute. MP is 40, DC is 20, sorry, DC is 30, DC is this whole length, so it will be 30 plus 20, it will be 50, right? And then DB is 30, DB is that part is 30, so this will be 30, right? And then punching this into your calculator, you'll see MC squared is equals to 3,200 is equals to 3,200 millimeters squared, right? Now applying the theorem of Pythagoras with a triangle EMC. In triangle MEC, MC squared is equals to E is equals to CE squared, which is what you want to calculate, is equals to CE squared plus ME squared, right? And then making CE the subject, we'll see what CE is equals to the square root of MC squared minus ME squared, right? So MC squared is 3,200 from here. ME squared is equals to 40 squared, right? So the length will be 3,200 minus 40 squared is equals to 40. So CE will be 40 millimeters. Length ya CE le. Okay. Yeah. Length ya CE will be 40. ME is equals to 40. Which which is a bit weird. Wait, let's see. MC squared is equals to 40 plus 50 minus dp, which is 30. So it's 3200. And in triangle MEC, we have MC squared to be equals to ME squared plus CE squared. So CE squared should be equals to MC squared minus ME squared. MC squared is 3200 and then minus ME squared, which is 40. Okay, so yeah, I get 40. Okay, and then we are done with 10.3. We are done with 10.3. Okay, now we can go to question 11. Okay. Okay, so question 11. Again, we are given that a triangle ABC is a right-angled triangle with B equals to 90 degrees. Right, so this angle B, it's B1 plus B2 is equals to 90 degrees, right? So I think we made a mistake in this question because in memo it says B1 is also equals to X, right? Yeah, B1 is equals to X and C is X. So, but D is a point on AC, as we can see, such that BD and AC are perpendicular, and E is a point on AB such that DE and AB are perpendicular and D and E are joined, right? Again, AD to DC is equals to 3 is to 1. AD to DC is 3 is to 1. 3 is to 2, sorry. So again, I'll apply factor K here, just so you don't get confused with the length. This is ratio, right? So AD is equals to 15. You see, AD is 15, but then in ratio AD is 3 is to 2. So AD is 15. Length yaga AD le, not ratio. So because I know the ratio of AD to DC and I know the length of AD, I can calculate the side DC because I know the ratio, right? So yeah, so 11.1, to prove that BDA and CDB are similar, you just need to show that the corresponding angles are equal, right? So ngizoti B1 is equals to C, they are both equals to X, right? This is given. I know in the question they didn't say B1 is X. Yeah, I think that was a mistake from the question, right? And then Bati Sabuya City, another angle that we have is D3. So D3 will be equals to angle BDA, right? Right, they are both equals to 90 degrees. We are given Uti DE and AB are perpendicular. Sorry, we are given Uti BD is perpendicular to AC. BD is perpendicular to AC, right? And then uzothi B2 will be equals to A. This will be the third angle of a triangle. Therefore, these two triangles are similar. They are equiangular. Triangle PTA is similar to triangle CDB. Angle, angle, angle. 11.2. 11.2, but to calculate BD. So BD, right? So now we have a similar triangle. So just to ensure that I don't get confused, I like to separate them and so that I can see what my sides which are in the same proportion, right? So I have 90 here, and then I have 90 here. Okay, so from this I see what BD and CD are in the same proportion. So here I'll have D, and then there I'll have D also, right? So here I'll have C, here I will have B, right? And then here I'll have B, and then here I'll have A. So BD over DC or CD should be equals to DA over DB, and BA over CB. Yeah, so these are the sides which are in the same proportion. Okay, so BD is this side that I want, and then sorry, this is the side that I want, BD. Okay, and then AD is 15 centimeters, AB I don't know, and then DB I also don't know DB. I also don't know DB. I have DB as a common side. It's what we want to calculate. AB I know, no, I don't know AB, and I also don't know BC. Okay, yeah, I also don't know those two. So I'll say, notice what here we have corresponding angles. So this triangle ABC and triangle AED triangle ABC and AED should be, we can apply a proportionality theorem gulama triangle way too, since we have parallel lines, because that and that are corresponding angles. Okay, so yeah, so ngizothi BD 11.2 ngizothi BD over CD is equals to AD over BD, right? So because we have similar triangles. Okay, yeah, my voice is a bit tired manje, yo dala ngikhuluma. BD, so I have BD. Looking at this, order labor state and similarity, it's important masses is allows or which sides are in the same proportion. So I have BD over CD, and I have DA or AD over DB, right? So here I'll have BD squared is equals to AD times CD. Yeah, right. So BD will be equals to the square root of these two, right? So the square root of AD is 15, that's Jelalapa. AD is 15. CD will be equals to, because AD is 15, and then we know the ratio with AD to DC is equals to 3 is to 2. And then if we know AD to be 15, we can calculate DC to be equals to 10, right? You'll see what this will be 15 times 2 will be 30, and then when you divide by 3 you'll have 10, so DC will be 10, right? So therefore PD will be the square root of 150. Okay, so PD will be the square root of 150, which simplifies to 5 square root of 6, right? And then now to calculate AE. AE is this part here, and then we have AC, and then we have, what else do we have? AB. Do we have AB? No. Okay, so we can apply we can apply Theorem of Pythagoras somewhere, because we have right angled triangles. This to create space. Okay, oops, I just want to erase this part just to create space in here. So let's say Toluti PD is equals to the square root of 150, okay? And then our calculate DC is equals to 10, right? So this part is the square root of 150, that's PD, the square root of 150, the square root of 150. Now we want AE, right? So I can say, okay, 11.3. I can say, let me start here, 11.3. I can say AE. Let me first start by proving that ED and BC are parallel lines, né? So I know what the ABC, the angle ABC and the angle AEB are both equal to 90 degrees, right? This is given. Okay, therefore BC and ED are parallel, right? These are corresponding angles. These are corresponding angles. Therefore, because they are parallel lines, I can apply the proportionality theorem and say AE over AB is equals to AD over AC, right? Why do I write this? It's a proportionality theorem. BC is parallel to ED. Niyabona ukuthi lezi zinto lezi sizenzile like eklasini multiple times. Maybe you guys were just saying what you understand without understanding. So ungamane uvume ukuthi uyazwisisa ungazwisisi. Yabo lezi zinto lezi sizenzile multiple times. Dala ngisho ukuthi like whenever you have parallel lines, you can apply proportionality theorem. Okay? So now I first proved that BC and ED are parallel. Now I'm applying the proportionality theorem because I have parallel lines. Okay, so I want to calculate AE, and then AB, I don't know AB, and I don't know, I know AD and AC, I don't know AB, right? But then AB I can calculate from here, looking at triangle ADB, triangle ADB, I have this side and I have that side, therefore I can calculate AB, right? So AB will be, using the theorem of Pythagoras, AB squared will be equals to AB squared is this side will be equals to AD squared plus BD squared. AD squared plus bt squared, right? Theorem of Pythagoras theorem, right? And then ap will be equals to the square root of 80, which is 15 squared, plus bt, which is the square root of 150. Let's calculate 11.2, right? And then punching this in your calculator, you'll see what ab is equals to okay, let me quickly punch. ab is equals to the square root 5 times the square root of 15. This is ap, right? Now I can substitute ab here, right? So therefore ae over 5 square root of 15 from this, I'm going from here to there, from here to there. ae over 5 times the square root of 15 is equals to 80, which is 15 centimeters, and then AC, which is 15 plus 10, right? Remember, from here I tell this is 10, so this entire length is 25 centimeters, 15 over 25, right? Then you can say AE is equals to 15 over 25 times 5 root 15, and then the AE is equals to 3 root 15 centimeters, and then we are done. Usitholela 57 marks total. Cabanga ukuthi lezi zinto zisimple njani. Cabanga ukuthi you guys niyapanika or nisuke nivume ukuthi niyazwisisa ngakazwisisi or niyakhohlwa eshangazi ukuthi inkinga yothi yini. But then this should be easy. Geometry should be easy marks for you. So if isakunika inkinga, go back and revise, and then nakunala ungazwisisi khona, feel free to ask. Ngikhona ku WhatsApp, right? I'm here to assist you guys. So akumelanga nifele so ngikhona. Should ningisebenzise, right? So yeah. Okay, so then we are done with corrections for a test. Okay.